U.S. Bank brings us stories each week of inspirational athletes who amaze us in all sorts of ways.
And tonight we meet brothers from the Northgate football team. Their support for each other brings success in all sorts of ways. Northgate brothers Emilio and Tony Pucci have been anxiously waiting to share this field.
This would be probably the best thing ever because I've been playing flag football with him since 4th grade. When I was in 4th grade, he was in 3rd grade. And we've always been waiting this moment, always dreaming of it, to play in high school together.
It's going to feel great that I have my brother by my side. I feel like we're going to do well together, the team's going to do well, and we're going to be a great unit. I'm going to feel good playing with my brother.
Tony is a freshman and will play the shortened season on the JV team. Emilio, a sophomore, has snagged a spot on the varsity roster. The Puccis have pushed each other, practiced, and trained all off-season for this moment. But helping each other succeed is something these brothers are used to.
I struggle with sometimes reading and comprehending things. I switch things around in my mind.
Emilio battles with dyslexia.
It really hit me in middle school when I realized things started getting more tough for me, and I realized I was so frustrated and upset all the time, but then coming into high school I was feeling all comfortable because I coped with it and realized I have to go through things a little harder than others, and which I feel great about because it makes myself a better person and a better mindset to do better. Emilio
says he struggles with direction, which could make his role as a slot receiver difficult. But Emilio has learned to adjust.
So whenever I think of out, I think of sideline nearest to me. When I think of in, I think of linebackers in the middle of the field. That's what really helps me. I learned that actually over COVID. I've just been studying the game of football and seeing what I could do to make myself a better football player on the field and not get confused.
Tony helps Emilio work through some of his challenges.
If he's looking for help or he's asking me for help, I'm always patient with him. I'm always willing to help him because I know that he processes things a little differently, and that's okay. And I learn from him how he learns, and he can learn from me, and it's a good relationship.
He's always patient with me, and whenever I do switch things around, he always like, "Are you sure about that?" And I look at it again, and I'm like, "Oh no, it goes this way." He's been probably noticing this before I even noticed I had dyslexia, which is very helpful to me and my family because I know I have my brother that I could look up to, look down to, because he's my little brother, but he still helps me in a lot of ways.
And does it help that your dad also, has the same struggles?
Yeah, he has the same struggles, so sometimes we say stuff and it doesn't make sense to other people, but it makes sense to us. So it's kind of like our little language.
Well, we knew he was very much like me as a young boy with his learning situation. In our family, we don't see it as a disadvantage. We see it as a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things. We knew very young. I knew very young. As when my mom told me about me, she knew very young as well. I was very young as well. So I knew when he was, 1 to 2, things weren't clicking as normal, if you want to say normal, kids would. Everywhere else he was striving and doing well. The academics was just more of a challenge for him. It's something that we embraced as a family and really supported him with, and his brother Tony does an amazing job with that as well.
If he needs help, I'm always willing to help him. If he gets things mixed up or it's different, I'll always be willing to help him because he knows that I'm by his side and I'm always with him.
With the help of his brother, family, coaches, and teammates, Emilio has learned his own strategies in managing with dyslexia. His advice to those going through the same thing?
When you're feeling frustrated, just take a break, think about yourself and what you could do, and talk to someone if you need to, because keeping it in is not going to help. When you talk to other people and tell them you have dyslexia or learning disability, it's just going to make you feel better in every other way.
Emilio says one strategy he uses to help with his dyslexia is being really hyper-focused on the task at hand and to not be afraid to ask for help. The Pucci brothers played their first game this past weekend against Alhambra.
All right, best of luck to Northgate.